get gifted, hunted by the authorities. They see me as a threat. They focus targets minorities for propaganda. And the media selling.
In order to understand our future, we must understand the past. It's time that we have the big talk.
To hand me them cigarellos, why you take it so long? You view me as pure scum. I tell you, would it be wrong?
Hey, today we're here in the office of David O, and we're here at the Big Talk, and we got a real big discussion. We're going to be talking about the city councilman, David O. So,
All right.
hello, how you doing?
Oh, doing great.
Oh yeah. So basically, just describe it. How would you basically describe yourself? I'll let you go on.
Well, to keep it short, I'd say I'm a Philadelphian. I'm a U.S. citizen, born and raised here. I'm a Korean American, and I'm a Christian. Those are kind of the ways I describe myself.
And what got you into politics?
Well, that's kind of a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. My father was a pastor, and we grew up in Southwest Philly at 58th and Koch Creek, and it was a relatively poor area. I grew up in an African American neighborhood. Still live there. My wife, 4 kids, and I at one point in time thought that I'd like to be a lawyer, and that really made a great impression with my father because I was not a good student, and so I kept that kind of in my heart. But wanting to be something and actually pursuing that are two different things, and I wasn't doing well, and through many different circumstances, I made it through high school and went to Central High School and went to Dickinson College, and then I was looking at trying to go to law school. And throughout it, it was tough. My father stepped in many times to try to, as he did for my brother and myself, to try to keep us on that road to being somebody. And when I did get accepted to law school, I really looked at it as a blessing and a gift, and not something that I had earned, just really something that was given to me. And so I wanted to dedicate myself to doing the public good, and being the kind of lawyer that I wanted to be when I was a child, a person who did good, had integrity, all those type of things you see on television, at least back in those days, right? And well, to make a long story short, I was successful in a large sense, and I was building my law practice, building my law firm, and one day I kind of hit a plateau, and I was really reflecting on, why did I hit this plateau? And usually when things don't go well for me, I think about, did I do something that I shouldn't have done? That I'm not aware of something that I might have done, that was harmful to others or things like that. And so I was thinking about it, and basically what I kind of concluded was, well, God had blessed me with a lot of good things, a lot of good opportunities, and I've had a lot of different experiences, but I haven't really used them well. I have kind of dedicated myself to building a law firm, and I wanted to do good things with it, but in a sense I had transitioned into building kind of a monument to myself. And so I thought about it, and I said, I was thinking about it, and an occasion came up where I thought, if I ran for office, I could interject some real issues into the race. Like, I didn't honestly think I was going to win. I can say that now. It's been a long time. So honestly, I didn't think I was going to win. You can't say that when you run, but nor was I going to say, I can win. I just said, I'm running because I think these are important issues about, how we create jobs, how we reform schools, how we serve the public better.
bridging this gap that we have with the different communities. Like, what was your way on actually on trying to do it personally?
Well, I have very simple thoughts about this. My thoughts are that once we get under our skin, our habits, our culture, our language, we have basically people. And many people, I don't know if I could say most people, I hope so. Most people are pretty fair-minded. Mm-hmm. And if we can kind of reach each other, the concern we have for each other, and how we work together to make our selves and our communities better, because we are all here together, mm-hmm. right? That is a way to bridge gaps. In other words, we have to know about each other, just first as human beings. Mm-hmm. Then we can learn about each other's history and what has happened and why we have certain perspectives and how we support each other. But I think we have to be concerned about each other first. And I think that, it's never, there's no reason not to be kind.
I know it's been in the news a lot. Right. Small government and big government and the Trump administration and everything. Right. And soda tax and everything. Right. So tell me your whole role on how you think, what would be the most ideal, you think, for ourselves to go and take as far as the
Well, kind of going way back and getting a bird's eye view on one of the questions that or the phrases, small government. So actually, at least from my perspective, it's not about small government, it's about limited government. In other words, government could be big, it could be large, but it should be limited in its role. That means people should have a larger ability to make decisions for themselves. Kind of going hand in hand with that is they have to be able to support themselves. They got to be able to feed themselves. They got to be able to improve their community and see that their children and the children of others can do well. And so, education, for example, is something that could be enlarged. Public projects around transportation and how we connect with the world. Departments that deal with social services and medical care can be enlarged to do a better job. But the limited role of government means that government shouldn't tell us what to do in our best interest. It can, but the question is, who made that decision? In other words, here in Philadelphia, you asked me about the soda tax. We say, don't drink soda, it's bad for you. But if you do, you're gonna pay a lot more for it in Philadelphia than you are outside of Philadelphia. We're also saying don't smoke, it's bad for you. And so we're gonna really increase the cost of cigarettes, maybe curtail your access to cigarettes in Philadelphia. But if you buy cigarettes, you buy them outside of Philadelphia. But we tied funding our schools to selling cigarettes, and we tied pre-K to you drinking soda. And so those are contradictory, right? If you actually drink less soda, smoke less cigarettes, we have less money for schools and for pre-K. And if you buy them outside the city, you're still
better day.
Yeah, it's not too sunny.
Yeah.
Dark.
It's good for the camera.
Yeah.
It's good for the camera. What is your goal for the year and your long-term goals as far as what you want to achieve as far as the city council?
Well, the main thing that I really focus on is jobs and the opportunity to live a full and healthy life. And I do it really through employment and the opportunity to have your own business or those type of things. So, you know, I continue to push legislation that will attract the kind of employers that we need. In this case, we need large employers who hire many people and they pay good wages and benefits for basically low-skilled jobs. And so I introduced a bill with the tax credit for those types of employers because those employers hire people throughout our neighborhoods. Part of that is that if you don't have a good education system, public schools, if you don't have a good, free, publicly accessible, available in your neighborhood education system, then we cannot keep pace and we are falling behind, right? So the problem is we have some great schools in some neighborhoods and some really under-resourced, not very good schools in many neighborhoods. There are magnet schools, but you know, you gotta get all A's, charter schools, but you gotta hit the lottery. And so what we really need is well-resourced, good quality schools in every neighborhood. And so, you know, people can talk about it. Here's the thing that a legislator has to do. We have to introduce a bill. And if you don't introduce a bill to reform the education system, you can talk about it all you like, yell about it, scream about it, march about it, but it's not going to change.
Trade on the contact point of the community.
Right.
For instance, when you're out there and you're going into the community, I want to be there and show it. I want to show people that all you have to do is try to get involved, and the opportunity is right in front of you because it's right here.
Yeah.
And when you're visible like that, they get to thinking, they say, you know what, maybe it is a chance, and we want to open that up for them. Because what I've noticed is the opportunities are there. It's just we gotta realize that we can take advantage of it.
Right.
Because there's a lot of grants out there. It feels right.
Yeah, it's what I want to do, and it's a service that I want to do in a much more kind of pure form than being an attorney trying to build wealth while doing good. I mean, I think that's a wonderful thing to do, but for me, this is the right thing for me to do.
You want to help people?
Yeah. Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. So here we are at the Big Talk with David O. And we had a real nice discussion. And we're going to be following this up.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
See y'all around.
All right. Take care.
Hunted by the authorities, they see me as a threat. They focus targets minorities for propaganda, and the media selling.
In order to understand our future, we must understand the past. It's time that we have the Big Talk.
To hand me them cigarillos, why you take it so long? You view me as pure scum. I tell you, would it be